All right, y'all. Bubba here again today. I have had a very, very wonderful month. I want to thank everybody that has started to like my Facebook page and Instagram. It went from like 300 something to like 1,800. I totally appreciate every single one of y'all. But other than that, the kids have been great. My time's been great. I hope everybody's staying safe out there during this quarantine thing. No matter what you think about it. Either way, I hope you're all being safe. Today's topic is going to be making a leather holster. I've been making several of these lately, and I've had several people ask me how I do it. Well, I'm going to tell you how I do it, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I start off with my desired tool. Got something on my paper here. I take it and I set it at the angle at which I plan on carrying it, and I always cant it a little bit. If you can see, my paper's straight. I start off with a piece of graph paper. I don't lay it on there straight. I cant it. This needs to be the forward. This needs to be the rear, so that when it's laying on you, this is your front, this is your back, and cant it to the desired angle. I take a pencil. Well, my pencil's gone. I'm not gonna do it anyways. Yeah, there it is. I take a pencil and I trace it right on it. Go all the way around it. Once I've traced it, I mark with my ruler basically straight across it where I want the top of the leather to be. And I draw that directly across my paper. Then, a lot of folks don't take this into consideration. What you need to do is you need to know the dimension, like this, of the tool. How many inches it's going to be across. On this one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. I then make, let's go ahead and do it so you can see maybe. Take that out of the way. Draw the line where I want the top of the holster to be. And then I mark 4 inches off. Start in the middle, 1, 2, that's 4 that way, 1, 2, 4 that way. And that gives me, basically, I don't know if you can see that, what you see there. Now your leather's gonna stretch later when you go to wet form this. So you don't completely need that 4 inches. This works different for everybody. Trial and error is probably the way to go about it. I take the 4 inches and I go ahead and knock off a quarter on each side. From personal experience, that has been what works perfect for me when it comes to wet forming it and still having enough material to stretch and not too much so that it gets sloppy. Because you want it to stay tight for longer. Remember, leather's going to break in, it's going to get used, and you're going to get a little bit looser. So you need to adjust for that. My grand total is a 1/2 inch. I knock a quarter off each side. You figure that out on yourself. But then I trace past the line of the weapon the exact shape. So what it does is, I don't see if you can see that. My original tracing will be in here. I trace another line, the exact same shape out here. And then at the front, this is my new line. The original tracing of the weapon will be another 1/2 inch in. You can see it right there, barely. Oop, right there. And then I design, I gotta allow for my belt loops. I come up a little bit in the front, down in the back, and then you just design it however you care to design it. Once you've got your design, you're gonna need 2 of these, and then I always make a copy of this because you need your welts or your inside pieces. So I make a copy off the printer and I basically cut these off, which will be that side and then that side. Understand? Are you following me? All right. Once you have these 3 pieces of paper, you have exact dimensions of what you need to cut out for your leather. You're done. That's all you're drawing. Now this is going to take you a lot longer than it's discussed right here. take into consideration how it's going to be worn, the size of the person it's going to be worn, the size of the belt the person's going to wear. I cut mine to allow an 1 3/4 belt. I make and sell 1 3/4 belts, also 1 1/2, but I allow for 1 3/4. I will ask the person I'm making it for what size belt they wear, but even then, if it's a smaller gun and they wear a 1-inch belt, then I will modify this. If not, I always maintain a 1 3/4 allowance for belts that size. Now we're going to fast forward. Boom. Once you've made this, you take it over to your leather and you cut it out. 2 of these. Once you cut the first one, hold on. Okay, like this. Once you cut the first one, flip this and cut it again. That'll be the front and back of your leather. Now you have the front and back of your leather. Then you take your 2 small templates and you cut those out. Now, I mark, you can almost see the indentions. I haven't stamped these holes out yet, where those are going to be for your belt loop, and then you transfer them over. I haven't transferred this one, but I will soon. All right, now I just use a small punch and I clean these holes up later to the desired thickness and width to allow a belt to go through it. Now after that, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You have to assemble it. When you put these 2 pieces together, dye it whatever color you want, and have these in the middle, that's your entire sheath, your holster. The process in which you do that is up to you. How I do it may not work for you. How you do it may not work for me. I go ahead and dye everything. Once I've dyed everything together, I then glue the pieces that I want on the inside and stick them together. Once it's glued and dyed, I have what looks like this. At that point, I take it to my edges and I sand all my edges even. See how the edges aren't even right this second? I'll sand things down, clean things up, do my bevels, do the rest of the holes, clean things up. Once it's glued together, I sand it completely pretty. I get my edges and everything shape-wise how I want it. Now once you're sitting there looking at that, you can stitch it. That 4-inch measurement you took will be from, can you see that? This groove to this groove. Like I said, I shrink mine a little bit. That is my stitching pattern. I design all of my grooves into the leather, how I want my stitching to look. Across the bottom, the grooves I want to put in, that's the point at which you do that. Now, if you look at this holster right here, you can see what I'm speaking about. Once all of that is completely done, that's when you take the leather and wet form it. That'll probably be a totally different video. I'm not going to waste all day doing the whole entire process. I might show you, I might not. I might just make another video. Once you've wet formed it and everything's completely dry, don't start this next process until everything's completely dry and it's sat overnight is my preference. Once everything's completely dry and you got a beautiful looking product, then you need to seal it. How you choose to seal that is up on you. You can use beeswax, you can use neat's foot oil, you can use Resolene, you can use super sheen. However you think you want to seal it, your intended use. You cannot seal it if you don't want to, but now how the leather changes and softens and acts is going to be based on which process you use. My process is what I have found that works. Now I use a different process on holsters as to sheaths. It's what I carry my products. I test my products. I have a Leatherman pouch on my hip that has been there non-stop for multiple years. That was my deciding factor on how I was going to mass produce my sheaths. I beat it up. It takes a beating. It never comes off my belt. My personal gun holster never comes off my belt except for when I go to work because they won't let me take it. All right, pause for the calls here. So I suggest the first one you make, use a scrap leathers, some cheaper leather, just in case you mess up. But design and the process in which you show it together or make it completely depends on you. There are processes that work better, and you'll learn those over time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you everything exactly how I do it. One, I'm that kind of guy that I will help you as much as I can, but I've spent a lot of time learning these things. A lot of trial, a lot of error, a lot of tearing stuff up. But if you want to know certain things, message me. Look me up on Instagram, Facebook. I will respond. There will be other videos that explain things step by step, more processes. But for now, this is what I'm going with. I do appreciate y'all watching and liking and subscribing. Tell your buddies, hit me up. Please follow, please subscribe. I am truly blessed from all the love I've been getting lately, and I appreciate every last one of y'all. God bless and have a wonderful day. All right, y'all. We'll see you next time.